Hi guys, good evening. I think I'm audible and visible. Hi Vanya Srivastav. Where are the others? Aryan, hi. Shoaib, good to see you after such a long time. Where have you been? Sudeep, hey. Yes, hitting century, correct. I have finally hit century. For those of you who do not know what we are talking about, well, it's our RC100 playlist. So the RC100 playlist owes its success to you guys because you watched it, you gave it some kind of credibility, and you made it all happen. So today we have streamed the 100th episode of that playlist. That playlist will help you tackle RCs of a moderate level. So those of you who haven't visited that playlist are requested to do that and cherry pick some good RCs and learn from them. I have tried my best to give you something good, so hopefully it helps you. Good evening, Somi. Somil. Varnika, good evening. Umaima, hi. Ayush, it's your first lecture, good evening. Welcome under my wing, Ayush. Pragya, hi, good evening. Okay, so everyone, once again, welcome to the session. I'm here with you all and we are going to do something fruitful. Okay, because I know many of you are first time learners. Some of you are attending your first ever lecture with me. It's not going to be a lecture, trust me. Lecture तो मतलब क्या ही बोलूँ, फिर boring हो जाएगा, है ना? We'll interact. Ayush Bansal, good evening. Enrolled in the last batch, okay? Ayush, while you're waiting for your classes to start, get started with this playlist that I'm talking about. It will help you in an unbelievable way. Hi Harshad, okay. Wandering in the alleys, all right, cool, good. So guys, we are going to do something fruitful, as I said, and of course the big announcement, RC100 hits century. This is your YT playlist of 100 solid RCs. So what you can do is you can just pick a few like random ones here and there and try to shape up your RCs while you're waiting for your live classes to start. Many of you are there in the last batch, I know, iQuanta ka last batch. So get started with these guys. And those of you who have already done a lot of RCs from here can graduate to Eon RCs. That's another playlist on the same channel. It's a new one. Shoaib, for you, Eon RCs. In this, I'm giving you like trickier RCs, trickier options, difficult looking questions, okay, and some like क्या कहते हैं उसको more tough nut type of topics. Vanya, okay. How to start prep? Jay, that's why we are sitting here. Why do you have to spam so much? तुम अगर 4 बार 8 बार 10 बार लिखोगे मैं उतनी बार जवाब थोड़ी दूंगी जवाब तो एक ही बार दूंगी आपका right? So please do not spam. Be a little patient. अभी तो 5 मिनट पहले I started the session. Let's get the ball rolling and then I'll show you exactly what we are going to do today. But first things first, I wanted to announce this. Get cracking with this, guys, if you haven't done it yet. Everybody sorted? तो मुझे ये बता दो आप लोग what all have you done in VRC so far? I'm not asking the old students, but some of you who are absolutely new, have you done anything in VRC so far? Arushi, please don't do like RCs every single day, because that's not going to take you anywhere. Do your reading every single day. अभी मैं वही सब बात करने वाली हूँ आरुषि. Okay, good Shoaib. And in this Eon RCs, which is of a higher level, slowly I'll be bringing you RC passages from The Guardian, The New York Times, Al Daily, Atlantic, ये सब चीज़ों से जहाँ से कैट अपने passages pick करता है generally. Okay. Hi Ishika the performer, good to see you. Alright, चलिए. So let's start now, guys. We are going to discuss something about your darling RCs, right? मेरे लिए तो है. You have done 49 RCs from RC 100. Okay, great, Sudeep. So I sincerely hope it's like kind of giving you some improvement. एकता जिस चैनल पे आप बैठी हैं ना, इसी चैनल पे सर्च कर लो आप. सर्च करने की भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, आपको दिखेगा रिकमेंडेशंस में. Okay. Reading Hindi editorial, Hindu editorial. Okay, Jay. So the Hindu editorial will not give you like too much benefit because the Hindu is generally political. So cat doesn't pick its passages from political or like क्या बोले इसको nationalist type of things. So you need to read some different stuff like diverse. Umaima, watching the LRDI from iQuanta solving. Okay, articles from there. LRDI essentials में articles हैं, reading articles. उमैमा, आपकी तो पूरी क्रॉस वायरिंग हुई हुई है, शॉर्ट सर्किट ना हो जाए. You were thinking of joining iQuanta, but fees is very high, Arushi. Okay, I understand your point. Many of us have budget constraints. Ayush, is it good to read editorials or books for RCs editorials? अभी वही डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं आयुष बंसल. I read newspapers like the Hindu, Indian Express. Okay, I'll give you some good sources. Pushkar. Daily RCs, where can you get them? We are going to discuss that. कहाँ से आप practice करोगे Pushkar? So just hold your horses, guys. As I said, let's get the ball rolling in the right direction, and I'm going to give you every single point that that must be there on your head. Towards the end of the session, I'm going to devote like 10 minutes to doubts. So after giving you my session, if there are still some doubts, you can ask me in the end. अभी मेरे साथ थोड़ा सा कोऑपरेट कर लो. I request you sincerely. मतलब मैं हाथ जोड़ के आपकी टीचर हूँ. टीचर भी नहीं बोलूँगी, आपकी मेंटोर हूँ, आपकी फ्रेंड हूँ, आपकी VARC गाइड हूँ. Okay. So I request you for your cooperation. I always try my best to give you whatever best I can. जैसे RC 100 playlist is one of those things. अब RC Eon RC is another we are doing. Classes जब आप join करोगे तो you'll see कि उसमें भी मैं थोड़ी बहुत कोशिश कर लेती हूँ कुछ कुछ अच्छा देने की. ठीक है? So what are we doing today? Let's get on with this now without further ado because 60-70 minutes का ही session है हमारा ये. So we are going to talk about some do's and don'ts of RC. Okay? Of RC. And then I'm going to give you, I'm going to demonstrate some key points with the help of one RC taken from CAT. Alright. So ऐसा नहीं है कि beginning में आपको PYQs करने हैं. PYQs का क्या मतलब? Previous year questions. I'm going to take one up today because I want to demonstrate some good points जो मैं आपको आज strategy देने वाली हूँ ना. I want to show you that these strategies actually work in actual CAT passage. Okay, so पहले तो do's and don'ts पे चलते हैं. This is the first thing. What are the important topics? अच्छा, उसके भी पहले अगर आप जानना चाहो, क्योंकि अभी like many of you are enrolled for the third batch and you may not be very clear about the syllabus and some basic points related to CAT VARC, here are those points. Okay, so CAT VARC, how much time do you get for it in the test? 40 minutes. सबको पता होगा ये. 2 hours का टेस्ट होता है आपका, 3 slots में होगा, morning, afternoon, evening, 3 slots, 2 hours each. You don't have to appear for all three, you will appear for any one. तीनों में क्या पेपर सेम होता है? कॉमन सेंस बताता है? नहीं, राइट? हर सिटिंग में there are three subjects, मतलब CAT में there are three subjects, right? You have got QA, you have got DILR and you have got VARC. इसको मैं चेंज करूंगी सीक्वेंस. You start with VARC, then you go on to DILR and then you go on to QA. 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, right? We know this. ठीक है अथर्व, Jayant? So 40 minutes. So VARC, we are going to talk about VARC 40 minutes. See, because I teach VARC, I'm going to be a mentor all along for VARC. So I'm going to talk about my 40 minutes. And my 40 minutes are the most important minutes in the test. Yes, my 40 minutes, not because of me, but because it's the first section. So VARC is the opener, the opening batsman of your test cricket. So first 40 minutes is VARC. Just imagine, Shoaib, if you goof up in the first 40 minutes, you will be thoroughly disappointed. You will be dejected and your morale will go down so much that you will goof up even in DILR and QA. So it is imperative for you to do well in this. आपने बाद में चाहे कितना भी खेल लेना है, कुछ भी कर लेना है, लेकिन ये अगर खराब हुआ, it's going to take you down. Right, guys? So when we talk about VARC, there isn't a huge syllabus. There are just a few topics. Okay, so just a few topics bole to we have got reading comprehension and then we have got verbal ability. You get 16 questions in reading comprehension and 8 questions in verbal ability. In the test, do they give you separate topics like headings? RC hai, VA hai? No. There will be a total of 24 questions. 24 questions का बंटवारा ऐसे होता है. What should you focus more on? Please focus more on RCs and short summaries from VA. Alright, RC and short summaries. Topic 1, topic 2. Since you guys are starting a little late, you had better do this. Okay, because you don't have the luxury of extra time compared to those people who started back in December and Jan. Okay, so you should start focusing on these topics that are going to get you more marks. Like जिसको कहते हैं ना, result yielding. है ना Ishita? So RC and SS, short summaries. RC you're going to get 16 questions. Short summaries you may get 2 to 3. Right. So just imagine, out of 16, if you're able to do, let's say even 10. And from short summaries, let's say you do 2. Generally, दोनों के दोनों short summaries correct हो जाते हैं. 10 and 2, 12 तो ऐसे ही solid हो गए आपके. 100% accuracy. Ishika, Ujjwal. Besides these, you can go to para jumbles, okay, topic number 3. You can go to your para completion, topic number 4. You can go to odd one out, that is topic number 5. But scoring in these zones is going to be tricky. You may or may not get these correct. But if you apply the right techniques and the right reading and vocabulary and all, you are going to score very well in these two. ठीक है? Critical reasoning भी एक topic होता है, ये, but critical reasoning is there as part of RC. So you need to do critical reasoning, of course, छोड़ना नहीं है इसको. और critical reasoning में कुछ आसान होते हैं, कुछ difficult होते हैं. I'll be guiding you on what those easy ones are. ठीक है? तो ये आपका basic syllabus है. I have given you the important, like the priority topics. You can get started with these. Okay. The next thing, while you are waiting for your live classes to start, please just get started with आपका RC 100 का playlist. While waiting for your classes. Take a live classes. Just get started with RC100 playlist. All moderate level RCs. These will show you how to handle a passage, like literally hand holding वाले RC solving है ये. So आप इसको करोगे. How many should you do? अभी आपके पास 5 महीने बचे हैं. Okay. So the whole of July, I think you should devote to this. इससे आपका firm foundation बन जाएगा. So you can solve at least 40 RCs from here. Cherry pick. Just randomly कोई भी आप उठाओ, आप उसमें से करो, and you're definitely going to get benefited. In this particular series, I have taken diverse RCs from here and there. Different questions, different types, मतलब इतने different types हैं कि जैसे CAT में exact आता है. Some questions are very easy, some questions are moderate, some questions are difficult, but overall अगर level देखा जाए तो इस playlist का that is moderate. So get started with this. ठीक है. और okay, known student, I'm confused, how do we use engineers VRC module? If you're a newcomer, please do not start with that because that is slightly advanced. Okay, ठीक है. तो उसकी भी मैं बात आपको यहाँ पे बता देती हूँ everybody, lest you should have a confusion. I'll talk about 2 modules. Okay, one is VARC Essentials. Okay, VARC Essentials is something that will help you lay the foundation of your prep. So if you have already enrolled on iQuanta, there is this module on your dashboard that will give you some important topics, concepts and terms that you need to learn for your RCs. उस पे चले जाओ, जाकर के उस पे read करना शुरू करो. अभी I'm coming to the reading part. Another one is Engineers VARC. But this is advanced. So those of you who are beginners, please do not start with this. ये तो फिर top down ऐसा हो जाएगा. This won't give you like surety, confidence. You need to start with VARC Essentials, and I'll write over here RC100 playlist. Get started with these 2 things. ठीक है, यहाँ 2 लिख दे रही हूँ मैं, यहाँ 3 लिख दे रही हूँ. Engineers VARC you can do at a later stage. Maybe by, I'll write here September, August, September ऐसे कर सकते हो आप. VRC Essentials अभी July and half of August. VRC Essentials and RC100 playlist. Okay. The importance of reading, I mean, I cannot emphasize enough. You have to read even if you're starting late. You cannot give me this excuse, I'm starting late so I don't have that much time. You're not going to get a good score. Okay, who are the people who can get away without too much of reading? People who are like natural readers. People who are avid readers and have always had this habit of reading good articles and journals and all. For them, extra reading is not needed. But for most of you, reading is absolutely something that you hate. जिसको कहते हैं ना beat noir. So you really need to take it up and start reading every single day. I'm going to come to that part a little later. Hi Meenal, long time. All right. Yep. Okay. So, Jai Mataji, I think you have come to the wrong place. You are just a critic. थोड़ी देर पहले मैं आपको नज़र नहीं आ रही थी, अभी मेरी आवाज़ नहीं आ रही है, मैं थक गई हूँ, मैं बीमार हूँ, तू मेरी चिंता छोड़ भाई, प्रेप की, अपनी VRC की प्रेप की चिंता करो. ठीक है. Alright guys, is it clear so far? Can I move on to the next topic please? Next point. बोलो हर्ष. RCs from 100 playlist, and in all you have built vocab, but I said recently enrolled. Okay, vocabulary is completely unlimited. Okay, so for vocabulary, what do you need to do? You really need to do your daily reading. With reading, you will be able to build up your vocabulary. Other than that, if you think that you're going to kind of choose some words and digest a lot of vocabulary and you will be able to retain those, well, you're mistaken. ठीक है Harsh, I hope this is clear. All right, now moving on to the first thing, please everybody, if you want, please take these points down. Later don't say I want the PDF of this, I want the PPT of this, नहीं मिलता है, ये यहाँ पर है, आपको लिखना है, लिख लो, नहीं लिखना है दिमाग में फिट कर लो, ठीक है, but please let's roll. All right, चलो. So important topics. What are the important topics that you need to do? Yeah, Abhinav? Okay. So these will help in foundation building and process of elimination. When you start your classes with me, you will get a lot of topics. Like, there will be structured classes, very organized, very structured. Like each class will form a link. It'll be kind of, building a chain. So each one will be a link, right? So please try not to miss the classes. But out of all the classes, if you want the most important topics that will help you with the foundation building, Ishika, it's these three. Because CAT questions are mostly inference based, conclusion based. Mostly. And process of elimination is this is a technique. Okay? So I will be giving you classes on POE, on inferences, on conclusions. Even if you're not a paid student at iQuanta, you can focus on these three things. How will you focus on these three things? When you are doing your RCs, you have to understand that inferential means you have to interpret. What is interpret? Interpret means you have to read the line and you have to kind of rephrase it in some other way. That is inference based. When we come to the classes, you'll know more about it. Also, I'll be coming up with 300 most important questions or 200 most important questions ka playlist on YouTube, but that will be at a later stage. So please do not depend only on that playlist. That's going to come up later. Now you need to kind of get started with your prep. Conclusions are what they are connected with the main idea. You read the whole passage and then you come to your conclusion, and while taking out your conclusion, you connect with the main idea. So right now, at this point, I'm giving you a very important tip that will help you tremendously. You can thank me for it later. Start building up your main idea. How do you do this? I'll give you $1 million tip here. That works. It completely works. Shoaib, this is even for you. For main idea, what I suggest is take CAT previous year passages without the questions. Okay, so CAT passages, fine, without the questions. All right, what do? You take a passage, you read it very carefully. You write down your own main idea. Main idea is taken from the first para and the last para. Sometimes it slips down to the second para or maybe the first line of the third para. Okay, sometimes. But generally you'll find the main idea in the first and last para. You write down your own main idea and then you feed this CAT passage to Gemini. All right. Now, for those of you over here those of you sitting here who are absolute haters of AI, this is not for you. Okay. But we as normal humans living in this normal world, normal technological world, we do take the help of AI. Okay. And it works. But to some extent, you cannot completely depend on AI for everything. You have got a brain that is much more powerful than AI. So what I suggest is you write down your own main idea, then you take this CAT passage and feed it to Gemini. Gemini is your AI assistant. Us pe dalo and you ask Gemini to give you the main idea or the crux or the essence of that passage. You match yours with that. Okay. The first 10 or 12 times, there will be a big difference between both. You'll be like, ye kya bol gaya, mera to kahin kuch aur nikla. But then if you throw in the towel at that stage, you will never reach there. So what you have to do is you have to keep going. Do not get disappointed. 10, 12 times to bakwas aayega aapka main idea. Okay. But you have to practice with at least 50 RCs. Remember, without the questions, you have to just take the passage and do as I said. Trust me, itna clear ho jata hai main idea. I have actually had students come back to me and tell me that yes ma'am, mera main idea ab na ja karke track pe aa gaya. Is it clear everybody? ठीक है. So These are the important things that you need to focus on, main idea, and ये आपके process of elimination, that's a technique for elimination of options and inferences and conclusions. जितना strong करोगे उतना ही आपका questions का answers correct निकलेगा. Done? Point number 2. There is no text here because I'm going to write the text here. So we are talking about steady practice now. If you are a paid student of iQuanta, like let's say you're enrolled in the 3rd batch, all right, okay, you can do a lot of practice on the dashboard. So you have got classes, in that we do a lot of practice. You have got your application classes, which are again phenomenal. Okay, you get a lot of practice there. You have got your dashboard assignments. Then you can, at a later stage, you can do your daily tests and all. So बहुत सारा practice material वहाँ पे आपको मिलता है. Fine. If you are an unpaid student, how will you practice? Well, you can take up some of the free resources that we have on iQuanta dashboard, some of the free things. Otherwise, you can just go to GMAT RC directory. That's freely available on Google. And GMAT के जो questions होते हैं ना, not passages, the questions and the options kind of come close to CAT questions, especially questions का जो stems है उसका. So you can do a lot of practice from there. This is not exactly as good as doing it with us on the app, like on iQuanta, but this brings you a little close to your goal. All right. So this is steady practice. Moreover, you can take up old mocks, old sectionals and all from some good resources, good institutes जैसे, and you can do your practice with those. All right, Shoaib. Yes. Main idea, yes. Okay, cool. Bhumi, cool. Next point. आगे बढ़ते हैं, ठीक है? So, go to sources for reading. Go to sources for reading में अभी many of you were asking me, ma'am, what is reading? How much should we read? What should we read? Now, you'll never ever hear me saying that please read 2 hours, 3 hours daily. No. That gets very boring, I'm telling you. So I just say, guys, read 30 to 40 minutes daily. If you are like exceptionally weak, you can do 40 to 45 minutes. But if you are like a moderate student, moderate with English, you can do 30 minutes. This is good enough. But daily. This is the only thing that I stress on for doing daily. Even RCs, I don't say practice daily. मेरे हिसाब से daily RC practice का तो कोई फायदा है ही नहीं. Okay, I'm going to come to that कि कितना practice करना है, कैसे करना है. But 30 to 40 minutes of daily reading is something that I absolutely swear by. You have to kind of erode all the rust and dust that is there on your mind connected with English. Okay, so इसको करना ज़रूरी है. Now, what are you going to read? You can read these sources: Scientific American, Smithsonian, Philosophy Today, The Mint, The Guardian. ये नीचे वाले जो हैं, these are higher level. Eon, Economist, New York Times, Guardian. There are 2 mistakes that students make when it comes to reading. Number 1, they read the Hindu religiously. Daily, they read the Hindu and they feel that it's going to help, like in the big thing. But the Hindu is not the only source that you have to read. You can keep that as one of your sources, like 7 days in a week होते हैं, एक दिन का रखो Hindu. But then don't do it daily. Similarly, some students make Eon their go-to source. Now, CAT doesn't say कि मैं तो Eon से ही pick करूँगा. Moreover, Eon is very, very difficult. So, the moderate, the weak students, if they go to Eon and start reading, what will happen? Daily they are just reading text. Text पढ़ लिया, but अंदर कितना गया? No idea. So what's the use of that reading? You may as well not read. That is why I'm saying keep these options with you. Okay? ये इसमें सबसे easy, सबसे समझने में like तरीका वाला and CAT का like one of the hot favorites is ये. I have given that on number 1. All right. Alternatively, what you can do is you can get started with your reading this way. Just go to, let's say, Eon. Okay. Take the link of that passage. feed it to Gemini. Give a prompt, okay, but make sure you write in that prompt, I don't want machine language. You have to write there, behave like, or act like a responsible editor, or act like a responsible cat question setter, or act like a responsible author and abridge this essay for me in 400 or 500 words. Okay, but make sure you don't give me machine language, because I want human like language. Got it? ये prompt आप देके देखो, उसमें आगे में add करो, keep some examples and data intact so that it feels like I'm reading a normal passage from Eon. ये सब कुछ चीज़ें अपने हिसाब से आप tweak करो इसके, जो ये prompt मैं दे रही हूँ, tweak करो whatever suits you. And trust me, it gives you like a marvelous kind of abridged essay. All right, from Eon, जो कि generally 3500, 3200 words का होता है. You give a nice prompt and it fine tunes, और जिसको कहते हैं ना, it prunes, shortens your this thing passage. Got it, guys? So ये आपका reading का हो गया, and I have given you some important tips here. Right? Okay. Shreya, that's a good question. Satinder Singh, should I watch VRC और ये first? उसका मैं कोई जवाब नहीं दूंगी. बिकॉज अगर आप यहाँ पे ऐसी स्पून फीडिंग के लिए बैठे हो, मैंने आपको बोला वो दोनों बेसिक्स हैं. अब उसमें मैम मैं ये पहले करूं या ये पहले करूं, मैं पहले रोटी खाऊं या पहले मैं भाजी खाऊं, तेरी मर्जी है भाई. सबसे अक्लमंदी तो होती है ना, दोनों साथ साथ खाओ, रोटी और भाजी मिला करके. ओके, सो प्लीज स्पून फीडिंग वाले क्वेश्चंस यहाँ पे मेरे से नहीं पूछना कोई भी. स्टार्ट बिहेविंग लाइक ग्रोन अप्स, थोड़ा सा प्रोफेशनल वाला माइंड लेके आओ. ओके, वो बेसिक्स है, बेसिक्स आपको जैसे करना आप करो, बट यू हैव टू बिल्ड अ फाउंडेशन. श्रेया, दैट्स अ वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन. Shreya is saying what themes or genre we should read. Very, very important question. Now, please pay attention to Shreya's doubt. यहाँ पे लिख के मैं आपको दे रही हूँ, ठीक है? If you are a paid student, you will get access to VARC essentials and you will get access to my concept lists. Okay, there are 3 concept lists that I have given out and these are based on CAT previous year passages. इन दोनों में क्या है? There are the most important topics and concepts on which you need to improve your reading. Got it, Shreya? This is for you. Okay, so if you are a paid student, you get access to these 2. However, if you are not a paid student, how can you improve your reading with the help of what genre, what topics? Just go to CAT passages. Take a passage, feed it to Gemini, ask it to give you a list of the 10 most important concepts from there. 10 most important reading concepts or terms from that passage. दे देगा वो, लिख लो वो 10. And then give the next command. Please can you explain all these 10 to me with examples. हो गया आपका, उस दिन की रीडिंग हो गई. तो मैं तो यहाँ पे आपको सजेस्ट करती हूँ एक बहुत ही क्या कहते हैं इसको, कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव तरीका. क्या कर सकते हो आप जिससे कि it will help you tremendously. Just take one CAT RC without the questions. Read it, 30 minutes. Read. Okay, daily reading done. Feed it to Gemini. Main idea, exercise. Main idea done. And then ask it for a list of important concepts. Save that list, okay? Or you can give the next command as I said, please explain these concepts to me, okay? Again, list, done. So you see here, with one passage, you can do so many things, and this is called like being smart. This is called active reading. Did you understand this, guys? All of you clear so far? Confirm karo please so I can take you over to the next point. Important topics ho gaya, study practice ho gaya, go to sources for reading ho gaya. All right, next. Please don't do this. 3 very big mistakes. All right. Shoaib, Shreya, Ichika and everybody else. Ayush Bansal, Kashish. Too much reading of the passage. How do we handle it? वो तो मैं बताऊंगी आपको. Right? Umema, Varnika, Priyanshu. So please avoid this. For those of you who are weak in English, in the beginning it's going to look like a Herculean task. क्या पढ़ूं, क्या छोड़ूं? Ma'am, I'm not able to skim. Ma'am, I'm not able to leave some important things. I understand. Okay? It is very normal to be weak in English. It is not our mother tongue. So please, it's very normal. But we have decided to appear for CAT, which gives you like very difficult passages. So you need to up your game, right? So how much reading is needed, how to read, RC100 playlist will give you that. All right, RC100. चले जाओ, हाथ पकड़ लो उसका और उसको अगले 40-50 RCs तक तो छोड़ना मत. Okay, attempting all the questions of a passage. Many of you do this. I have come across people who are like, who kind of try to show off. No, I always solve 22, 24 questions. Okay, it's your choice. You can do all 22, 24 questions. But then if you end up getting 12 to 13 wrong, how does that help you? Trust me, the charm of CAT lies in this point that you're not supposed to do the entire paper sawmill. That is the beauty of CAT. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of this, that solving about 50 to 60% of the paper, the entire thing, 2 hours ka, can take you very well above the 99 percentile mark. But that is the thing. 40 minutes में which questions to take up, which questions to dump, यही आपको सीखना है मेरे साथ, ये आपको practice करनी है, right? And please do not ignore true false questions. मैंने यहाँ लिखा don't do this. So don't ignore true false questions because they are score fetchers. लोग सोचते नहीं true false वाला ना हमसे तो नहीं होता क्योंकि हम confuse हो जाते. No. There are some techniques that you can apply to these questions and get away with the marks very easily. But for that, you need to sit with me for some time to understand what the associated techniques are. Okay, ये हो गया आपका. Next point. So please do this. Please don't do this. हो गया Harsh. Now please do this. Sudeep, check the questions first. This is something that I teach in the class. I'll also guide you here how it helps me. Try to understand the logic, okay? Check the questions first. See, there is a passage here and there are 4 questions, right? I glance at the passage, I go to the questions, and if I see the question stems, not the options guys, only the question stems, I will know how to go back and handle my passage. You get it? So I can go back easily and understand, oh, there is a tone question, there is a main idea question. For these 2 questions, I don't need to read the passage too much, right? This is what I'm saying. Oh, there is 1 true false and 1 critical reasoning. Okay? Let's say there is 1 main idea, 1 tone, 1 critical reasoning and 1 true false. Okay. For these 2 questions, I'm not going to read the passage completely. I'll just take the main idea from the zones. Critical reasoning I may leave or I may do as the 4th question. True false karunga main, right? So for true false, again I don't need to read the whole passage because for true false what works well is you take an option and verify. If your main idea is clear for the whole passage, you are going to be safe, I'm telling you, okay? Let the world say whatever they want, full reading, ye wo, blah blah blah. If your main idea is clear, more often than not, your true false questions can be handled like by latching on to the main idea. Got it? So, check the questions first. Try करो मेरे साथ ये. अगर आपको सही लगेगा ये, continue with that. Otherwise, you can go back to your conventional RC first, passage first, and then questions later wala. Then you will be able to understand how to handle the questions. Sorry, how to handle the passage. Compulsorily locate the main idea. I have already spoken about the importance, and then trace the flow of the passage. What do I mean by the flow of the passage, Shreya? First paragraph, how is it connected to the second para? Second para, how is it connected to the third para? How is it connected to the fourth para? If you trace the passage like this, okay, connecting all the paragraphs, ये main idea है. Then the second para is giving you the advantages. Third para is giving you the countries where this is found. Fourth paragraph is talking about critics who go against this particular thing and come up with like a critique of this. The last paragraph is a conclusion. This will help you completely with this. Okay, clear everybody? So this is locate the main idea and trace the flow. So you have to focus more on these things. Okay. Now make these your objectives, complete objectives. You have to interpret, you have to eliminate. I spoke about interpretation and elimination here. Yeah. Elimination is POE and interpretation is how well you infer. Okay. So interpretation can be improved only and only if you improve your vocab. If your vocab is weak, you may kiss your dreams of cracking cat goodbye. Because I don't agree with those people in the market who say without improving your vocab you can actually crack cat. No, trust me, no. वो किसके लिए applicable है without improving your vocab? People who are great readers. So they can just, read in flow and they can connect and they can understand the meaning. But for most of you who are weak, who are from state boards, how will you understand the passage and what it is saying if your vocab is in the gutter? Right? So interpretation and elimination works when your vocab is good. So get started today itself. I'm not saying that you will be able to master the dictionary in the next 5 months. That is why you have got your VARC essentials and your concept list. जो मैंने बोला कहाँ चला गया वो पता नहीं मैंने delete. Okay. So vocabulary depends on reading the very important terms and concepts जो आपका VARC essentials और मेरे 3 concept lists में है. That is called relevant vocabulary. वरना अगर आज आपने start किया तो under the sun there are like thousands and thousands of words. करते करते तो आपको अगले 15 साल लग जाएंगे फिर आप बैठे रह जाना. Speed solving by way of active reading and staying calm. Active reading, as I said, it's a combination of skimming, skipping, scanning. So you have to understand the important zones, what to leave, what to read. And this is exactly what you get to see in the RC100 playlist. Okay. Now increase your speed. How do you increase your speed? Not by speed reading. I have to read like 500 words in a minute. Bullshit. You cannot read 500 words in a minute and yet like understand every single thing. So it's better to read limited. Read the important zones. You go to a buffet, okay, and there are like 40 dishes on display. If I start eating everything and I'm like, speed eating, so I can cover all 40, very soon I'll be bloated and I'll faint over there. Instead, I'll save my appetite for the important things, the things that I really want to devour. Right? That is what I'm talking about when I say increase your speed. So you should know which zones to read, how much to read, कौन सा zone irritating है, कौन सा बकवास है, छोड़ दो वहाँ पर. Again, RC100 में you get to know. Timed practice sessions is something so important. So one is speed reading, active reading. I'll write here active reading, number 1. This will help you save time. Number 2 is this, okay. Number 3 is sectionals. And number 4 is mocks. ठीक है? Sectionals और mocks पे आप बाद में आएंगे. First you need to improve this and this. Now what do I mean by timed practice sessions? जिसको मैं time bound tests भी कहती हूँ. What are these time bound tests? These time bound tests are short tests. Again, there is a problem. I keep giving you my tips and techniques and methods and all. Then some students go around raising a hue and cry over this. Where are the time bound tests? I can't find them on the dashboard. But I always say this very clearly. Time bound tests, nobody is going to give you like, on a plate. You get sectionals and you get mocks as part of your subscription. Time bound test आपको खुद करना है. कैसे करोगे आप? Take a compilation of 20 questions, okay, or let's say 15 questions. Set the timer for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. दोनों में से कोई भी कर सकते हो आप. 20 minutes अगर टाइमर सेट कर रहे हो तो do any 6 questions. 30 minutes का अगर टाइमर सेट कर रहे हो तो do any 9 to 10 questions. Okay? Take a compilation of this. Got it? So this will teach you question selection. This will teach you how to hustle in the first 15-20 minutes of your test. ये टेस्ट बना के आपको कोई नहीं दे रहा है. आपने खुद कंपाइलेशन लेना, कहीं से ले लो. डैशबोर्ड असाइनमेंट सेव कर लो, एप्लीकेशन क्लास सेव कर लो, डू व्हाटएवर यू वांट, गेट इट फ्रॉम ओल्ड सेक्शनल, ओल्ड मॉक, कुछ भी. And then you can do this. Select 3 passages, 12 questions, या 9 to 10 questions कर लो, 12 questions कर लो, कुछ भी. But practice with 20 minutes, practice with 30 minutes, sectional is 40 minutes, and mocks are 2 hours. So you are actually trying to run the race in various levels. कैसे levels? जैसे ये आपका 100 meters हो गया, ये आपका 200 meters हो गया, ये आपका 400 meters हो गया, and then you are running the marathon. So gradually you're building up stamina. At this point, I'd also like to tell you one thing. Like some people asked me, ma'am, how many RCs should I do daily? मेरा point और logic यहाँ ये कहता है कि अगर मैं daily एक RC कर भी लेती हूँ, daily, I can keep doing that RC, one RC for the next 5-7 years. Yet I may not be able to crack CAT. Why? Because I'm not used to hustling. I don't have that stamina to solve 3 RCs back to back, 4 RCs back to back. एक तो कर लूंगी बहुत बेहतरीन तरीके से. When I see the second one, I'll start feeling fatigued. भगवान मुझे छोड़ दो. So my point here, my logic here is, instead of doing one daily, you can do on alternate days 3 RCs back to back. What does that give you? In the beginning, that will give you headaches, but later you will be able to build up your stamina. 3 RCs एक साथ करने में बीच में आप छोड़ नहीं दोगे जंग का मैदान. Clear है सबको ये point? ठीक है? So this is increasing your speed. और sectionals और mocks तो आपका as part of your subscription रहता ही है. Now the last point, stay calm. How do you stay calm? Calmness is brought about by various things. If I am able to do my time management, I'll stay calm. If I have done a lot of practice, time-based practice, I will stay calm. If my elimination is on point, I will stay calm. If I know how to handle my passage without reading too much, I will stay calm. वही अगर मुझे पढ़ना हुआ पूरा और एक एक चीज पढ़ना हुआ और दिमाग वहीं पे चकरा जाएगा, I won't be able to stay calm. Right? So you select, select and select. What do you select? How much to read? Okay, you select how much to read. Fine. Which questions to solve and which to skip. That is called selection, and that will help you stay calm. Got it, guys? Now, I'm taking you over to one CAT passage. In this, I'll just demonstrate like how you should identify the important zones and all. Be there with me. If you want, keep a pen and paper ready and note down the important points अगर आपको लगता है कुछ है तो. ठीक है? अभी ये वाला सेशन जिसमें अभी आप बैठे हो ना, ये अगर आपने कर लिया तो you will be like primed to get started with your prep. You don't need to wait endlessly for your live sessions. वो तो आएगा ही आपके पास, but just get started somehow. That is all I'm saying. इसलिए आपको ये सेशन दे रही हूँ. Got it, everybody? So ये आपका पैसेज है, आप देख लो ये. Chinese. Okay, पहले मुझे ये कंफर्म करो. So far we are on the same page, everybody. 2 to 3 minutes में कैसे करेंगे? क्या 2 to 3 minutes में कैसे करेंगे रिदम? Questions तो थोड़ा ढंग से पूछ लिया करो आप लोग. I'll keep you for just 10 more minutes, guys. हाँ, आयुष बंसल, अमलन, वर्णिका, सुदीप, ओके, वानिया, हर्ष, रेनू. Okay, just do this passage with me. You know, I'll just show it to you in a very quick way. How to handle it, how to kind of take the important points. So CAT passage है, इसमें apply कर सकते हैं. अगर techniques तो दुनिया में कहीं भी कर सकते हैं. ठीक है? All right, Sudeep, CR में प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, go to the GMAT CR directory and do extensive practice from there. Then go on to GMAT RC directory जहाँ पे आपको moderate level वाले पे CR के questions मिलेंगे, वो करो and then go to previous year questions. ये best sequence of practice है. अरे तुम घड़ी देख करके नहीं करते हैं क्वेश्चंस को एग्जाम में, बट आइडियली एक क्वेश्चन 2 मिनट से ज्यादा लगाना नहीं चाहिए. Okay, chalo. Yes. Now the Chinese have 2 different copies. Right? Chinese. Is the passage on Chinese? No. Concepts of a copy ye dekh rahe ho. So first thing is I glance at my passage. Kya keh raha hai ye? How do I know what it is talking about? First line. First line. Okay. Ye Western observer, Eastern notion. Okay. First line. Cathedral. Okay. Germany. Covered. Okay. Something to do with construction. Fundamentally same operation, Japanese shrine. I can see clearly here he's talking about Germany, here Japan, here Chinese, Western, Eastern, Far Eastern. Okay. So he is giving us examples of various places connected with some construction and some copy. Right? Then the last para. 5th para. What is he saying here? It is probably this intellectual position that explains why Asians have, okay. He's talking about cloning. He's talking about copying. Cloning need not always be like human cloning. Cloning means copying, imitation. Right? Everybody? South Korean and jo bhi, ye ho gaya. So this is how we kind of take a look at the passage and decide what it is about. If I take you to this sheet, let's try to fill it up. Hero of the passage. Cloning, right? Various places, various communities, right? Cloning, copying. You agree with me? अभी हमने passage तो पढ़ा भी नहीं है. I've just glanced at the passage. है ना? Flow क्या है? I can see very clearly just with one glance. Okay? Intro and then different places, different communities. Got it? Right? Different places, different communities. Okay? Main idea, tone and all we can get after reading the passage. Types of questions हम अभी देखेंगे जाके. Types of questions. क्या कह रहा है ये? So as I said, one glance at the passage and then I go over to my question stems. I don't see these. No, just the stem. Based on the passage, which of the following copies would a Chinese museum unlikely less value? Okay, I have to focus on the first half of the passage because the second half talks about Japanese and German, right? So which of the following copies would a Chinese museum be unlikely to consider? So what is the Chinese ideology regarding a copy? Itna samajh aaya. Now if you ask me over here, how will I understand what it is asking? तो वहाँ मैं आपके खोपड़े में घुस के तो दूंगी नहीं. You have to improve your level. You have to understand this. You have to do a lot of practice, right? ये खुद से आना है. Then, which one of the following statements does not correctly express the similarity between this and this specific, right? Difference question. So, these may be in 2 different paragraphs, doesn't matter. Okay, not difference, this is similarity between this. I know this is specific, right? Okay, then question number 3. Which of the following scenarios is unlikely to follow from the arguments in the passage? Arguments are given in the passage, right, Shoaib? Arguments are given. Sudhanshu. Now, which of the following scenarios is unlikely to follow? Trust me, यहाँ पे Shoaib and Sudhanshu, if you decode this question wrong, you are going to get your answer wrong. So decoding the questions is so important. Following scenarios is going to follow. Follow का मतलब ही होता है conclusion, right? Conclusion, yes. यहाँ बोला है unlikely to follow. So 3 true होंगे, 1 F होगा. But these will be connected with the conclusion, with the main idea. ये होता है decoding. ये होता है glancing at your questions and instantly understanding what it is asking you. What do I do in such a case, Sudeep? Like when I'm solving a cat passage, I always keep a sheet and pen ready and I note down like this. ये जो मैंने दिखाया ना आपको, ये लिखती हूँ मैं वहां पर, because I tend to forget. Question number 4. The value that the modern West assigns to an unassailable original, specific, inference. You need to go to this point, and this is saying resulted in all except. So true, 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 and 1 false. Now Shoaib and Sudhanshu and Sudeep and everybody, हमने अभी passage नहीं पढ़ा है, हम जाएंगे अब पढ़ने, right? But this one glance tells me, guys, that I need to check the Chinese ideology, I need to check one specific similarity, and there are 2 true-false questions, ठीक है? 2 true-false questions. ये वाला तो चलो overall ये देख रहे हो आप, ये अलग-अलग like prove करना है, और ये वाला जो है, this is like specific. If you ask me my sequence, or like you know the ones that I would grab like from this whole lot, किसको किसको करूँगी? Number 1, because this is specific, all right. Unlikely, I'll do this later. Number 2, 100%, and number 3 later, and number 4, yeah. This is my sequence. Even this contributes to fast solving. If you take up, let's say this one, कहाँ गया? ये वाला, ठीक है? ये आपने पहले शुरू कर दिया, and then you go to this question. It will take up so much of your time that you won't be able to do the remaining 2 confidently. इसलिए question solving का sequence बहुत बहुत important है. तो सुदीप मैं क्या करूँगी? पेपर लिया है जैसे मैंने, उस पे मैंने ना लिख दिया RC1 या P1 लिख लो आप. P1 कैसे solve करना है मुझे इसको? So I'll put here 4, 2, 1 and 3. 4, 2, 1, 3. बस सुकून. अब पैसेज जा करके फटाफट 1.5 मिनट में 2 मिनट में पढ़ लो, come back and solve your questions, and every question should take you like you know maybe 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 120 seconds. You cannot watch the time ऐसे, you cannot monitor like this कि हाँ इतने मिनट हो गए मेरा आंसर निकलना चाहिए. No, with practice you will be able to do them fast. ठीक है? तो मैं आपको खाली अब ये दिखा रही हूँ how to handle the passage. We are not going to exactly solve the questions, but just how to handle the passage and how to connect your questions. ठीक है? अभी आप ये देखो यहाँ पे ये कह रहा है the Chinese have 2 different concepts of a copy. Chinese, this is their paragraph, right? So Fangzhipin, imitations, okay, ये एक है. Second concept, Fujipin, वो क्या है मुझे नहीं जानना. पूछोगे अब आप मुझसे why are you skimming? This is the first para, because this is not the author's opinion. Opinion is most important. This is Fangzhipin, Fujipin. If there's a question, which are the 2 Chinese concepts of copies? I'll come back and read. Okay, so Fangzhipin, Fujipin, something. But what is the Chinese ideology? क्या कहते हैं वो? कॉपी करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए? They are exact reproductions, are of equal value to the original. इनको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है कॉपी करने में. It has absolutely no negative connotations. So you understood, Sudeep? ये मेरे लिए important नहीं था, but this is important. The Chinese often send copies instead of originals, and not essentially different. Rejection that then comes from this is perceived. Finished, clear, so clear. The last 2 lines of this para are amazing. They tell me the Chinese are okay with copying, but when these things are sent to Western museums, oh, they get rejection, and then they feel insulted. ची छा हूँ हाँ ची करते हैं फिर वो कि हमारा कैसे reject किया. That means what, Sudeep? Aryan, what do I infer from here? The Westerners don't consider copying good. उनके हिसाब से original is original, copy is copy. So much like this is so clear. The Far Eastern, China, Japan, very confusing. Western observer, फिर ये question related with the question है, आ जाएंगे यहाँ देखने के लिए, ठीक है. कैथीड्रल ये जर्मनी का है, नहीं पढ़ूंगी मैं, नहीं पढ़ूंगी. Why? Because I know Germany में क्या ideology है, that is what we are discussing here, right? Then Middle Ages, and I'm just taking a look at the important points. This is the same as with Japanese. Same operation as with Japanese, right? So what do the Japanese people do? What do these do? Now, here there is a confusing point for me. I'm thinking, here he says Far Eastern, China, Japan, they are okay with copying, right? And the Westerners don't copy. Yahan ye keh raha hai, this is the same operation as with Japanese. Why is he saying same? Okay, पढ़ लेंगे थोड़ा सा जब question की नौबत आएगी, right? So I know that this is talking about Germany, this is talking about Japan, okay, and here I'm going to read this. I hope you understood how to handle this passage, and trust me, there is no written formula, no one formula that fits all. That is why I say I take a look at my question stems and then I decide instantly how I have to handle my passage. Each passage has to be dealt in a different way. Just like, each day of your life has to be lived in a different way. One day ka formula may or may not apply the next day. It is probably this intellectual position that explains why Asians have far fewer scruples about cloning. अब यहाँ पे एक बात मुझे बताओ प्यारे बच्चों, if you don't know the meaning of scruples and cloning and all, how will you solve it? How will you get the main idea? The main idea is again repeated here saying Asians do not feel guilty about cloning, Europeans do. So cloning obviously अब यहाँ पे human cloning की बात कर रहा है, but overall the big picture is copying. Copying के अंडर में art copying, music copying, cloning सब कुछ आ रहा है, right? So cloning. The South Korean cloning, okay, he found Buddhist has been mentioned here, Christians have been mentioned here, question हो सकता है. Ban on human cloning, all right, Buddhist, Christian, okay, fine, reincarnation, okay, cloning. Get it? Right? Now, one more thing I'll tell you, one Gyan point. I have seen the flow, I have seen the important words here and there. This is how I handle this passage because I saw the questions in the beginning. But what is the tone of the author here? He is not, पहले तो ना आप solve करके ये सोचो. Is he criticizing somebody? No. Is he praising somebody? No. He's like, just telling you things. He's comparing this with this. So his tone is kind of explanatory. His tone is neutral. His tone is analytical, you can say. He's giving a lot of data to kind of show what is happening. But analytical bhi nahi bolungi main isko exactly. Why? Because he's not asserting something. He's just showing you the different ideologies in different areas of the world connected with cloning, with copying. So analytical में नहीं जाएगा ये. This is explanatory. Okay, understood. And यहाँ पे end of the tone यहाँ पे अगर आप जानना चाहो, this is not conclusive. He is ending it with a fact. ये बोला है इसने. Huang legitimized this. I am a Buddhist, something. Okay, and as you know the basis of this. Okay, in some ways I think therapeutic cloning. Inverted में दिख रहा है. This is not the author's opinion. This is somebody else he is quoting. So this is a very factual tone, this is a neutral tone, this is objective. Hope this is clear. Got it? Okay. Now I'm going to take you over to this. Tone हमने अभी discuss कर लिया. Main idea, he is not asserting anything. He is just showing you main idea क्या है? Ideas related to copying and cloning in different areas of the world. That is your main idea. Had he asserted something, had he taken some side, it would have become conclusive or it would have been something like analytical. Important zones. I'll show you the important zones. कैसे इसमें से मुझे पता है बच्चों हर हाल में read करके मुझे पता है कि कहाँ पे question बनेगा. ओके कहां पे इंपॉर्टेंट जोन्स हैं? Always the last 2 lines, 3 lines of the passage can give you a question. I'll take another color and show you the zones, the important zones. यहाँ question बनेगा ही बनेगा। जहां आपको बुद्धिस्ट, क्रिश्चियंस, इस्लाम, कोई भी रिलीजन का पॉइंट दिखा विवेक, क्वेश्चंस बनेगा ही बनेगा उस पे। ओके ये याद रखना। देन यहां पे बोला है जर्मनी एंड जापानीज। ओके what is the similarity between the two or what is the difference between the two instead, right? question बनेगा ही बनेगा। cool and then यहाँ पे first वाले में because he is talking about Chinese इतना, German उतना, Japanese उतना, so he can ask, I mean the question setter can ask you a question related to any of the three। जैसे अपना question number 1 है, आपको पता है question number 1 is connected with that, ठीक है? okay go back to this slide। important zones I have shown you विवेक एंड तनु यहाँ आए हैं क्लास में। हे बेबी शिवांगी तुम क्या टिंडर पे आए हो? यहाँ पे पढ़ना है भाई, पढ़ो नहीं तो कोई बात नहीं, खामोश होकर बैठ जाओ। चलो सो इंपॉर्टेंट जोन्स आई जस्ट शोड यू। इज देयर अ कंक्लूजन? नो। टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस अभी हमने देख लिया, डन। एज आई सेड आई वुड फर्स्ट वांट टू डू दिस क्वेश्चन। कैसे? एन अनअसेलेबल ओरिजिनल, आप खुद चल के देख लो, वैल्यू दैट द मॉडर्न वेस्ट असाइंस टू दिस अनअसेलेबल ओरिजिनल, लोकेट करो खाली कहां है अनअसेलेबल ओरिजिनल, वेस्ट वाला, यू शो मी नाउ। ये तो चाइनीज वाला पैरा है, यहां पे तो कुछ ऐसा अनअसेलेबल ऑब्जर्व इसमें यहां पे इतना बड़ा दिया नहीं है, राइट? ओके सो जर्मनी, कैन वी चेक हियर unassailable? अच्छा tell me one thing, if you don't know the meaning of assailable or unassailable, how will you solve it? यहां है दिया हुआ, right? है ना? अब यहां देखो, replica something in the field of art as well। the idea of an unassailable original developed historically in the western world। assailable क्या होता है? something that can be attacked। unassailable something that cannot be attacked and defeated, right? so I take you back to this question। you will, for this question you're going to read there। how do you read there? set your zone, set your range, 2 lines up, 2 lines down, okay, and then you read there, you come back and eliminate। ठीक है? तनु खामोश होकर बैठ जा प्लीज। गॉट इट गाइस? सो अनअसेलेबल ओरिजिनल वहां से निकलेगा। देन आई सेड क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 हम ये करेंगे, सिमिलैरिटी बिटवीन आइज ग्रैंड श्राइन एंड कैथीड्रल ऑफ दिस। आदर्श आप खुद देख लो, यहाँ पे आइज ग्रैंड श्राइन इज गिवन इन जापान। ओके हियर आइज ग्रैंड श्राइन कहीं पे तो था यहाँ पे, ठीक है, इसी में रहेगा। एंड देन आपका कैथीड्रल ऑफ, यहाँ कैथीड्रल ऑफ दिस। So you have to check both the points, right? And you have to see कि कहाँ पे difference है। यहाँ पे था आपका जापान वाला, ये यहाँ है, right? So you have to check this point and you have to check this point and you have to see the similarity that is there, right? Okay? चलो, I like your question rhythm। She's asking me, so by practice it's possible to complete it in literally 2 minutes, isn't it? Yeah, obviously without practice तो nothing is going to happen। Okay, so ये वहां से connect होगा। Question number 3 ये है आपका। Let me clear this। Copies would a Chinese museum be unlikely to consider? Only para 1। अच्छा चलो आप इसको ना एक क्वेश्चन मेरे साथ करके देख लो। Para 1, Sudeep, question decode करो। Which one of the following copies? We remember Chinese said copy is equal to original, right everybody? So which one of the following copies would a Chinese museum be unlikely to consider as having less value than the original? Unlikely to consider। read the options। these are like, you know, यहाँ जरूरी नहीं लिखा हो if true, but these are external hypothetical examples हैं। आप इनको read करो और देखो, कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि odd one out stick out करता है। check the options please। identical in every respect. Photograph, printed. ध्यान से पढ़ो and then decide. Now I'll tell you something here. For this, I'll quickly go back to Fusipani and Frangipani or whatever it was. Right? So here, Fangipin, imitations where the difference from the original is obvious. Right? Difference from the original is obvious. Okay? These are like, you can make out that there is a difference. These are small models or copies. Okay, that can be purchased in a museum shop, for example. So these are smaller ones. उनके पास allowed है. They are okay with it. They have no scruples about doing this. The second concept is Fujipin. Exact reproductions are of equal value to the original. Got it? Exact reproductions. It has absolutely no negative connotations. Got it? Go back now and just check. Now I want you guys to take a look at the options and tell me something. Question is saying Chinese museum be unlikely to consider as having less value. If you decode it, Varnika, it simply means they'll refuse to consider कि हाँ इसका less value है. That means they'll say हाँ this has same value as the original. कौन सा इसमें से होगा जो same value as the original consider करेंगे? बोलो guys. अभी हमने पढ़ा Fujipin वाला जो था. Fujipin was like miniature. Difference is obvious. दूसरा वाला जो था, the Chinese said exactly original का reproduction है. Equal value है. We cannot say that this doesn't have equal value. उनका ये कहना था. Going with that A is the answer. Okay? ठीक है? तो इस तरह से आपको questions handle करने हैं and then यहाँ पे unlikely to follow from here. I'll just teach you one important thing here. देख लो. ये इसने पूछा 3 true 1 false. Right, Umaima? 3 true 1 false. What is happening over here? A 17th century, a 20th century Japanese, British, French and Christian. You see my point? Do you get an idea how to solve this? Unlikely to follow, पहले तो ये लिख लो 3 true 1 false, है ना? अब एक false ढूंढना है. I know where to go and search. Where to go and search for this? British painter, Japanese Buddhist monk, Japanese भी और last में Buddhist है. French artist, Christian scientist. You get it? So उस तरह से you have to just take each one and verify. Do not leave true false questions because these are so easy to verify. Like you can just pick one and you can go and check. Another one and go and check. All right. So this is how you handle your questions. Now we are done with this thing. That's all I had to give you from my end. I'm ready to take up your doubts. Bindya, I'm not going to reply to your query because you have been spamming. Okay? Please. आगे जिसको और दूसरे लोगों को डाउट पूछना है, please go ahead. When I'm explaining something, how do you even expect that I'm going to reply to your query? और लगे हुए आप spamming करने में धाड़ 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 नहीं जवाब देना मुझे. हाँ, एकता. Concept lists. Concept lists are available to the paid learners of iQuanta. Based on the last 10 years का papers, I have taken out important concepts and compiled them into 3 lists. उन पे अगर आप reading करेंगी एकता तो आपकी reading to the point होगी and within 5 months you can build up something. Increase your vocabulary rhythm just by reading. मैंने भी कोई ऐसा urgent वो करके या overnight करके या डाबर जन्म घुट्टी पी के या च्यवनप्राश खा के नहीं बनाया है ये. I have built it over the years, but then आपके पास years नहीं है build करने के लिए. I understand. That's why I have done the hard work for you. I have given you the concept list. VRC essentials भी हमने दिया आपको as a module. You need to build your vocabulary from these two. Yes, Bindya, I'll help you. Tell me. I'm listening now, Bindya. See, I had told you initially I'm going to keep the last 5-10 minutes, 10 minutes for doubts. So I'm here. You can ask me now, Bindya. Disha, tell me. I always get stuck in questions like what can come next in the passage. Yes, that depends on the flow, Disha. So you have to kind of, check the flow of the passage. The first paragraph is what, second is what, third is what, ऐसे. Last para में क्या बात की है उसने दिशा, उसके बाद उसी के हिसाब से continue करेगा ना. That is called a flow question. Satya. Okay, the others, if you don't have doubts, you can scoot. All right, go and have some dinner, get some fresh air, go for a walk, or maybe you can just hit the hay. All right. The others who have doubts, you can just stay back. Assumption based questions में negate करने पे जो option passage claim को crumble कर रहा वो सही होगा ना, जो crumble नहीं कर रहा. Exactly, Satyam. I have taught you that way ना. Rhythm, take care and please do the hard work, Rhythm. There is no shortcut, I'm telling you. VRC में तो खासकर कोई भी shortcut या technique या strategy ना without hard work apply नहीं होता है. You do the hard work, build a foundation, Rhythm. Over that, like मेरा techniques apply करके you can get your scores. Yes, Sudeep, word power made easy is very good for vocabulary. Advait, thank you so much for the appreciation. You made my day, sweetheart. Bindya, bolo, I'm listening. ISC student in class 11th and scored 86. So what should I do to aim IMA? Your reading and vocabulary. Maths class 6 to 10 ka, Bindya. Okay, English ke liye reading and vocabulary. Or DILR ke liye you can just kind of practice from relevant sites. But most important is a firm foundation, Bindya. So start early if you're really so keen to see yourself at IMA. I love the passion that you have in you, but uske liye hard work karna padta hai, Bindya. Face problems regarding tones of the passage. Vanya, I'll be giving you some practice questions in the class on YT and even as worksheets. Yes, Manish, idea, essence, ये सब आपको RC 100 playlist में मिल जाएगा ना. Harsh, VA section with RC practice. After 20-25 days of RC, you can get on to the VA section. Yes, Pragya, that's going to be good. Thank you, Samil. Thank you, Ayush. Have a nice evening, everybody. 86% is very good, Bindya. Build up your profile a little bit, okay? Internships, certification courses, take up some good hobbies. तो ये सब चीजें जब ऐड करोगी ना, या मान लो कहीं जॉब किया आपने बाद में, these will help you and these will like show as laurels on your CV. तो प्रोफाइल बिल्डिंग उसी को कहते हैं. प्रोफाइल का भी प्रेफरेंस मिलता है. How many parajumbles, Shreya, in the test? 2 to 3. सब टीटा होते हैं. That's why they are so confusing. Entertainment shots, you enjoyed the session. Thank you so much for the appreciation. I'm still here, guys. You can ask me more doubts if you have. Sudeep, yes, we will be continuing with some more sessions. So stay tuned. You're from commerce stream, Bindya, doesn't matter. Koi bhi stream ke ho, you can reach IMA with the right kind of work. Amlan, example, we have except questions. So we know it's 3 true and 1 false, okay? Yes, you have to practice more and, slowly that flexibility will come कि कौन सा true पूछ रहा है, कौन सा false, और sheet पे लेके लिख लिया करो solving के time, Amlan, that will help. Rayan Khan, build up your vocabulary. Norman Lewis ka word power made easy. Barron's list that's there on Google. You can do your daily reading. If you are a paid student of iQuanta, तो आप concept list और VRC essentials पढ़ लो. ये सब में आपको vocabulary help मिलेगा. Pragya, thank you so much for the appreciation. Umema, thank you so much. Lawyer, approach this exam if they are There are less than, okay. So you're a lawyer and now you're trying to do CAT and MBA. Okay. If job का time, internship, okay. हाँ काम आता है, बिल्कुल आता है वो. Profile building अच्छी होती है. Okay, chalo guys, we are going to pack up now. Let's call it a night and I'm going to meet you again day after tomorrow. We've got our next session. So stay tuned guys. हाँ बोलो बिंदिया. IPMAT and CUET, ठीक है, those are good. नहीं Shreya, you don't need to get into all that. Grammar के लिए there's one great module that we have. 150 grammar concepts है हमारा, एक module है. You can do that later, like by October or something, and you don't get grammar direct questions in CAT. You'll be getting those in ZAT, NMAT, SNAP, CMAT and all. Harsh,